What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Other Side of the Firewall podcast, where we talk about the latest and greatest in cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who've made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams, and as always, I'm joined by Shannon Tynes.
What's up? What's up?
And LeVon Maynard.
What up?
Hey, so this is the end of the week. This is where we talk about everything except for cyber in the weekly rundown. So if you're only listening to this episode, we appreciate you hitting us up and listening. Share with a friend, like, share, hit the bell on all them good things on the YouTubes, or just continue to subscribe to us on your podcast platform of choice. With that being said, how's everybody's week?
That was pretty good. I was chilled out this week. Didn't do too much. Currently it's Memorial Day weekend. Even though you guys may see this on a different day, maybe see it on Wednesday or Thursday, something like that. But Memorial Day weekend, so the wife and I are just chilling out, staying home for the holiday weekend, and actually gonna do a little bit of barbecuing. I think tomorrow, maybe even Monday. But get some grub on, and I guess besides that, I've just been kicking back, playing my video games. I kind of the same routine for the video games, as far as like playing a little Destiny, playing a little Yakuza. And then been watching a little bit of mostly like some anime the last week here. Been watching this anime called Hunter x Hunter, and it's just like it's an anime about pretty much like this kid that wants to become a hunter, and kind of leaves his small island with all his family and friends there. He goes off to become a hunter, and he has to go through this like training regimen and skilling up and all this kind of stuff. And it's kind of like maybe kind of one of those typical like goes on adventures and meets some new friends, and he gets all powerful. He fights his bad guys, stuff like that. But it's pretty interesting. Me and the wife have been enjoying it. Me and the wife actually also watched. I just want a quick shout out to I think it's on Netflix. It's called I believe it's The Mitchells versus the Machines. It's kind of like a family, like pretty much like a family friendly, like 3D kind of like Pixar type movie. But I thought it was pretty entertaining. I thought it was better than I expected. It actually had a pretty good like story, and a little bit of like a tugs at your heartstrings. What do you want to call it? I thought it's a pretty good movie. But that's been like the main things. How about you guys? You got into too much this last week?
So for me, like I was actually busier this week. So for us, we were doing 50% manning at work, but I actually went in all but one day. So like I was pretty busy this week going into work and doing stuff. So I didn't get a lot of TV watching or anything. And I started rewatching some Key and Peele, the Harley Quinn. I got into the second season on that. Yeah, that feels hilarious to me, man. I got into the second season on that. But that's about it. I didn't get to do too much on that front when it came to like video games or watching. I didn't do any studying. I mean, that's kind of, I know.
As expected.
I know it's I'm like, man, I'm gonna have to move this test date back again, because like I feel like I'm losing knowledge at this point. But I didn't do any studying. Busier at work. Didn't really watch any TV or anything like that. I talked to my son today because I happened to walk upstairs and I saw he was watching Castlevania, and I asked him about it. I watched Castlevania. Yeah. I was like, what are you watching? He was like, yeah, I think this is the last episode in the 4th season. I was like, oh, okay. I said, well, what'd you think about it? He said the first 2 seasons are good. The 3rd season sucked. He said, but the 4th season is good again. I was like, oh, okay. All right. But yeah, he likes the series because he was watching. So I think I actually put it in my queue too to watch it after you guys were talking about it. So yeah, eventually I will get around to it, but I haven't had the time to make it happen, man.
Yeah. I was going to add too, like, I think we might have like briefly touched on it before, but I went to Amazon and I saw that they had a series called Them, which is, I think it's based on like a family that moves into like LA / like Compton, California. Yeah. It's like a black family that moves to like I think it's like a pretty much all white neighborhood. I didn't get a chance to. I was in the middle of something. I was like, I started the first episode, but then had some things going on. I had to pause it, but it seemed pretty interesting. The first, like, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes that I watched. Um, and I think it's like kind of like a horror slash like thriller slash like drama, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But it seemed kind of interesting. I think maybe you had watched it, or you talked about it before, Ryan. But I was trying to get into that and see what it's all about. I think it got some decent reviews out there, but I have to see what it's all about.
Yeah, I made it through 3 episodes, and it just fell off my radar because I was watching with my wife, so it's kind of hard through distance to keep up with the show.
Oh, right, right.
But it's one of those. It's kind of like Get Out, where the horror is in the history, and you know what I mean. Like it's like real life. Like, oh my god, it's, you know what I mean. They took the filter off of romanticizing this time period, and put Black people in it. It's like, this is what Compton looked like back in the 50s.
Right.
It's not what you thought. And then on top of it, here is what they had to deal with when they tried to integrate those communities. Mm-hmm. So I only made it to the third one. I was like, oh, it's rough.
Yeah,
it's good.
It's like hard to watch.
Good. Yeah, it's good, but it's like you don't know if the racism is the A story or the B story. But regardless, it's there. Then you throw horror on top of it. You're like, yo, I don't get it. I don't get how these people could live through this, man.
Yeah,
like, it's ridiculous.
It was a different time back then, for sure.
Yeah, but I would definitely say keep up with it. I'm gonna start watching it again with my wife. Yeah. But man, I did nothing but consume entertainment all week. Like somehow I fit in mad shows. Like I marathon Harley Quinn, so I watched both seasons. Excellent show. Appreciate the recommendation.
Hell yeah, I'm glad.
What else? I did Love, Death, and Robots season 2. I knocked that out.
That too. Yeah.
I thought it was pretty good. I watched Devs on Hulu. So it was a limited series. It came out a couple years ago. I always said I wanted to watch it, but it was only on Hulu, and I was like, I'm not paying for that. But my wife got Hulu, so I've been watching it on her account, and it was okay. It started out good, and then it fell apart. It's very time like in science, but then it just starts to fall into philosophy heavily, which that's typically what happens. So it kind of falls apart for me. But what else? I watched 3 movies yesterday.
Oh, damn.
Because I got nothing to do on this very long weekend. So I watched Greenland, which I thought was actually really good. It hit my disaster kick I needed in my life. So I thought that one was pretty good. And then I went from that to Underwater with Kristen Stewart, which I did not have high expectations for. And it was mediocre. but it had some fun moments. And then I pivoted from that to, what was the third movie I watched? It wasn't any good because I can't remember what it was. But then I moved from that and I started watching. I finished Raised by Wolves. I put that one down. It's HBO Max. I think it's Ridley Scott is the director of it, and it is very Ridley Scott-esque. It gets really weird really fast, and then at the end I was just like, I'm not watching season 2. You went too far, Ridley Scott. You went too far.
They didn't have any aliens pop out of wolves or anything. Like, I don't know. That's Ridley Scott, right? Ridley Scott's aliens.
Yeah,
right?
It felt like aliens. Down to the robots bleeding white blood, because he loves that for some reason. Like when robots get eviscerated and they just like gush white blood everywhere. Like there's a lot of that as well.
Some milk.
Yeah, it's very, very strange. But even that was fine. Like it was good. It was going somewhere. But then at the last episode, it just went way left, and ended with a cliffhanger. And I was just like, no, you can't go that far left and then leave me stranded. I was like, I'm out.
Right.
You messed up with this one.
So like I definitely can't get down with that one then, because if it was too weird for you or if it was too far out for you, then I'd know. Because you're way out from where I am. Like I'm like,
I felt like it was going somewhere, and he was like, nah. He just took the wheel and was like, nope, into the ditch. I was like, all right, you got me on this one. Never again. I feel like what was that third movie? I watched something. I can't remember what it was. But before we move on, most importantly, I got both a Series S and a PS5. So
what?
The boys had Christmas early. Like we had
You got to tell
the
the story.
PS5. I got through. Excuse me. One click Amazon is the trick. Amazon dropped it, and I had one click set up inadvertently. I IGN dropped a link. It was like, hey, you can put it right into your cart because it was like PS5 restock tweeted like, hey, they're at Amazon. I went there, page started crashing. It was not working for me. I was like trying to get a PS5 all week because they've just been dropping steadily. GameStop, Best Buy, Target, and then Amazon finally. And then IGN dropped a link and said, hey, you put it right in your cart. Follow our link. I was like, I'll give it a shot. I clicked the button. It was like, thank you for your purchase. I was like, oh, I didn't mean to do that. Because I was like, is it a real PS5? It could be a picture of a PS5 for all I know.
Right.
So I quickly went through my order and I was like, okay, it's direct from Sony via Amazon. So I was like, whoo.
Nice.
So 2-day shipping, that bad boy was there. I got it on Wednesday night. It was there Friday afternoon.
Nice. So, then, you sent it to the family, right? You didn't send
it I sent it directly to the family. Yep.
Yeah.
So we already had the Series S waiting for the end of the school year. So school ended on Wednesday. Grades finally posted on Friday. So it was perfect. Serendipitous. It was like, ooh, he can mess up.
Right.
Like if any of these grades tank, guess what you ain't getting? But they didn't know about it. So the box arrived. My wife hooked up the FaceTime or whatever. And then we asked the Otis which box he wanted. He chose the small one for some reason and left the 6-year-old with the big box. It was obviously the PS5 because I think is bigger than my son.
Right.
And then he opened that Series S. He got pumped. He was like, yeah. And then the little one opened up the PS5 and they both were like, oh my God. He started running around the house. I was like, mission
going bananas.
Yeah.
Mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished.
That's what's up.
I'm living vicariously through them now.
So LeVon, you see that excitement for a PS5? That's what you don't have right now. out there in the West Wing, you know what I mean?
In the West Wing, in my in my theater room.
Yeah.
My PS5 is collecting dust. No, it's a great console. I think they're gonna have a lot of fun, especially like what is it? They just had like a state of play. They showed off the new Horizon that's coming out whenever. They don't have a release date, but it showed some of that gameplay from a PS5. It looks pretty phenomenal. The only thing I think people were complaining about that I saw, like some in the chats and the Twitters, they were saying that looks like it's going to be like maybe 4K 30 FPS. People were expecting FPS. Like we want 60 FPS. This is the new generation. We want more frames. But
but that's the way they always have the performance versus resolution. Like exactly, so it'll be there. You're going to lose that HDR and 4K.
Yeah, they have to drop the resolution for sure because I don't think, especially how much is going on in that. From at least the gameplay they showed, it's like so much going on in the screen. There's so much foliage and all these like mechs and stuff walking around. I don't think it's gonna be able to handle 60 frames at like 4K.
People want too much. Like if you wanted to do both and you did buy PC, sorry,
that's true.
So spend $2,000 as opposed to $500, and you can get all the above. If you only want to spend $500, then pick one or the other.
Yeah, that's the truth. Yeah, but it's a great console, and it got some great games coming down the pipe. I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be I'm gonna dust it off, Shannon. Don't worry. It's gonna be I remember when I first got my PS4. Speaking of which, I put that on eBay for sale. I'm gonna sell that one. But I remember when I first got my PS4. Man, I didn't play that thing for like the longest. Like I can't even remember how long I had it just sitting around. Like I wasn't like playing any games at all, really. I was just like not into gaming as much. I was watching a lot of whatever was hot, like Netflix or something. But I was like, it like really did collect dust for a while. Like I did not play it for some reason. But then after a while, I started getting some more games. I started like getting into, like I mentioned before, I don't know, I've really been big into Destiny since PS4, but I was playing that so much that, I probably like, wore out the controller and wore out the system so much from playing, turning that thing on. But it's kind of interesting. It's kind of the same thing when I first got my PS4. I didn't play it that much, but I think as more games came out, I think it started getting more more interesting games came out, more content was available. I started playing a lot more. But I think that's kind of how I feel with the PS5 at the moment. It's like, I played some of the AAA titles that came out on the PS4 that they kind of push over to PS5 as well, like the Miles Morales, and I play like the Last of Us, and play like the God of War, all like the big AAA games that came out on the PS4. I've played all of those, so it's like I'm waiting for like the next big thing to come out, and maybe that's when I'll be like a little bit more like nonstop playing PS5. But right now it's just kind of like, it's kind of chilling, kind of marinating a little bit. One thing I will say.
Go ahead,
what were you gonna say, Shannon?
No. Go ahead, Lamont.
I was gonna say one thing I'll say real quick. Just I know I mentioned this a while back when I first talked about the PS5, but the Astros Playroom that comes with the PS5, like the free game they throw in there, it's actually really, really cool. It'll give you maybe like, I don't know, 10 to 15 hours of gameplay. It's not really that long, but it's actually really cool because it shows off the controller and some of the functions that you can do with the haptic feedback and the sensitive control, like the triggers, whatever they call those.
Yeah, the adaptive triggers.
Adaptive triggers, yeah. It's actually really cool. I had a lot of fun with that, and it's really like nostalgic because it has a lot of the throwbacks to the old consoles, like the original PlayStation, the PlayStation 2. All the accessories. You collect these items, you collect the accessories, and you can get like a 3D view of all the game consoles and all the accessories, so you can actually check them out, like just to see how they look. So it's really cool. But I think the kids will like that. But what were you gonna say, Shannon?
No, I was gonna say I'm just messing with you, man, because I haven't played a video game. Like my PS4 is just my streaming device now. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And I don't know how long. And the last one I did play was Miles Morales, which was a good game, right? Spider-Man Miles Morales was a good game, but like, I mean, I have some games. I probably wouldn't mind firing up God of War again, because that was a good one. I like that one.
Right.
Just to go through it and experience it a little bit more. But like, I really don't. I don't make my way down to the basement to play games as much as I used to. So it's one of those things where mine is collecting dust from a game playing perspective.
Yeah. At least it's been around for a while.
Like, I'm over here talking mess. Like, oh, you should be doing this, that, and third. Like, hello, kettle, meet pot. You know what I mean?
That's right. It's like, how dare you talk about me like?
How dare I jump on LeVon for this? I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Oh, so I'm trying to live vicariously through my son. So he did not play Astros Playroom all like that. So I was like, because that would have been the first thing I jumped on, right? The play around with the controller. He jumped on 2K because he had the Mamba edition, so he got the free upgrade. So he jumped on 2K, and he also downloaded Infamous Second Son. So that's in the collection. So I guess you get the collection of games.
Yeah.
So he downloaded that. So I'm kind of proud. Okay. Yeah. That's the first game I played, I think. No, I played on the PS4. I played Shadowfall. So I played Killzone Shadowfall because that was the game that popped out first. And then I think that March, because it came out November 5th of 2013, I want to say. Back when you could just go to a store and buy a console.
Right.
And then that March Second Son came out, and I played through that. I was a big Infamous fan. So there's some games, but like you said, there was a big gap. Kind of like now, where you had to wait for your Ratchet and Clanks, you have to wait for your Horizon, which I think comes out this year, is their target date. So there's stuff, but yeah, he played the PS5 way more than the Xbox so far.
Yeah,
because for him, it's not that big of a jump, right? Because there's no Series S exclusives right now. They're all shared amongst. So he's already played all those games. On the Series S that we we have a Series S. I get confused because these naming conventions suck.
Yeah. You got the Xbox One S, One X.
Yeah, but he had the other one, the other white one.
The One S.
So he's playing around, but I asked him about Playroom. He was like, "Yeah, I booted it up." I was like, "So what you think?" Like, because that would be my go-to. He was like, "Yeah, the controller's real shaky." He did not, because he doesn't carry the nostalgia, right? Like his first console would have been, I want to say, the first one he'll remember is probably the PS4. Like he might remember the PS3 a little bit, maybe, or the 360.
You have the fat PS3, or you have like the new?
Yeah, I had the fat one.
The big old
The
fat one. Yeah.
Foreman grill one, yeah, the fat one.
Yeah,
Yeah, I had
yeah.
the fat one.
Foreman grill.
I
Yeah,
usually I
that's
usually
right.
get the first runs. Like
Yeah.
I always try to get them on launch. But they usually last forever. Like this PS4 was on his last leg though. Like he was calling me asking for like solutions on how to get it connected to the network because the antenna was failing. I was like, hey man, you just gotta wait till one day we stumble on the PS5. So I
Yeah.
was lucky we stumbled on the PS5. So
Shoot, my PS4 was hanging in there too. It's like it still works great. Uh, whatchamacallit, yeah, it still runs great. The and it was like it was like pretty much like a launch edition. I think it's like the one of the first
yeah,
models that came out. I know they had like different like updates where they reworked like some of the inner workings, and then they changed
yeah,
like the out, they have like the newer version of it with the new casing or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, it still works great. That's like what, I don't know. I don't know when the PS4 came out because I got it like the year that it came out. So whenever it came
yeah.
out,
2013, November. I think it was
2015.
November 5th. Yeah,
Oh wow,
2013. Like, I
2013.
don't remember the date for this one because I couldn't get one, but I
Yeah,
was in line at GameStop for that one, picking it up.
yeah. I was in line for the PS2 when that came out. I was at a Walmart actually, and I remember
Okay.
waiting in line for it. That's pretty cool. It's a good memory, just waiting in line and hang out with some of the people that were there and just like talk about stuff and talk about games and life or whatever. But that's some good memories.
Yeah, I was the same way. I was at a Babbage's, I think, or EB. Like it wasn't GameStop. Like you
Yeah.
remember the mall had like three different variants of
Yeah,
GameStop. Like
yeah,
you had
the Babbage.
EB
Yeah,
and all
I
that stuff.
remember.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
all got swallowed up.
dang. Yep, yep, they
Yeah.
sure did.
You about to say, Shannon?
No, I can't remember ever being like maybe Madden in the earlier years. Like I would go out, at launch time or whatever.
Right.
I never like for the consoles or whatever. It was just like I'll get one when I get one type
Yeah.
thing. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
And
I don't know.
that was the yeah. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was gonna say that was the only time I did that too. Yeah, which is that
No, I
console.
did it for all of them except for I think well, I had an NES, so I didn't do that one. I was surprised. I was like 5 or 6. My dad brought me a NES. They had been out for a while though. I want to say I didn't get a launch day console again, or for the first time I got a launch day console would probably have been because I didn't get a 64 on launch. That was a Christmas present I already knew I had, right? I snuck in the closet and saw it. I was like, oh,
Oh, what's this?
probably the Dreamcast was the first one where I showed up and had money of my own to buy. It's probably
Yeah.
Dreamcast because that was like September 9th, 1999, all nines when
That's
Dreamcast
right.
dropped.
Yeah, yeah. I had a
Yep.
Dreamcast too. Yeah, I don't think I got that on the release date though. I'm trying to remember a lot of the like how I got the first. I think most of my consoles were like gifts. I know the PS4 was, but PS2 is the one the one I can remember that I like waited in line and purchased on like the day of like the midnight
Yeah.
when the midnight struck. Like they were selling them like here you go, now you can buy your PS2.
Yeah. Yeah. Because even the Xbox, the original Xbox, the big one with the jewel in the middle, the
Yeah.
OG Xbox, my wife got for me as a present. I want to say I was in Mountain Home, Idaho, for that one. So whatever year that was, like 2005. I think she got it in 2005, 2000. So it had been out for a little bit because it was out when I was in high school.
Yeah.
I want to say no. Was I in high school or was I in college? I think I was maybe a senior when it came out.
Mm. I'll say this. Oh no, I'm sorry. What were you gonna say?
I was like, because my best friend had it, so I'll go over his house and play it.
Yeah, yeah. Only other thing I kind of stood in line for, I stood in line for some other things, but maybe not on the release date. But for this one, I got like the Nintendo. What did they call that thing? Like
The Switch or the Wii?
No, it was like the original NES, but it had the games like installed on it.
Oh, the Mini? You mean
Mini?
the?
Yeah, it's called Nintendo Mini. Was that what it's called?
Yeah, the small one that came out.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I when that came out, like I don't think I got it like the day of or anything, but it was so hard to find. I found like a spot that was selling them like the next day, and I got there nice and early. I was like the fifth or sixth person in the line, just waited for them to open up. And as soon as they opened up, it gave people or like right before they opened up, they gave people like little tickets something like that. So you kind of hold your place, so that you don't have to like stay in line.
Okay.
So they had like, this is how many we have in stock, so we can give you guys tickets, and you can go like, get a coffee or something before we open up officially. But that was like, I might have got there like 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning before they opened up, and then got in the line and just happened to grab it up as soon as they opened up. So that was one of the only other couple occasions I could think of that actually like really waited in line for like a product. But nowadays,
I used to for everything.
yeah. Nowadays, everything's virtual. I mean, you can get a lot of things like online, like you can, pre-order things, or you can like, one-click buy, add to cart, whatever you did for your PS5.
Yeah, that was so lucky.
Yeah,
because it went straight through. So I think that's the key. Because all the rest of them, like I had like my card ready at Best Buy and all that stuff, but by the time you get to checkout, it's like, oh, it's no longer in your cart. Oh, it's no longer in your cart. Like, so I didn't even get a chance to do that. Like, it went straight through, like as though I was a bot.
Yeah, right.
I was a bot. It went straight through. It was like boop.
Yeah.
So very, very lucky.
That's good.
But yeah, I've stood in line for lots of games. I think the last game I stood in line for was probably GTA 4, and then everything went virtual after that. So after that, like I would just like GTA 5, God of War, any of those games. If I wanted them day of, I would just pay for them virtually, and then you get the little launcher that will pop up. Yeah, because you could preload them and all that stuff. But even that, I'm so old now. Like when GTA 5 dropped, the little countdown went down. I waited for it. I started the game up, and I literally paused it and went to sleep.
Right.
I was like way past my bedtime. I just wanted the experience of being here at Ground Zero, but I was like, no way. I'm gonna stay up all night and play this. But yeah, I remember taking leave to play games back in the day. You just be like, all right, I'm just gonna drop a week of leave to play this game.
Yeah.
No.
Wow.
No, not anymore.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
I got friends that still do that. I'm taking leave, like a new like DLC came out or something like that. It's a new game. I got to take a few days off to play it before I come back to work.
No, not anymore. I'll get to it when I get to it.
Yeah.
So like the only thing with these consoles was I don't like being an adult and not be able to buy what I want when I want to buy it. Like that was the part that was bothering me. Like I am grown now. If I want to just purchase this, you will give it to me.
Yeah. Right.
They're like, nah, shortage. You're like, okay. Now you're playing games. So that part did agitate me.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm really trying to remember. I know I stood in line for some other things, but it's like it's been so long. I can't remember.
Ocarina of Time. Like when Ocarina of Time dropped, I was at GameStop get my gold cartridge.
I feel like I did
the gold cartridge. They gave me a T-shirt. Like, it was like the best night ever.
I remember when I worked at Best Buy, it was fun being a part of like, I guess in the back end of like game releases and stuff like that, console releases. Like I used to work like I used to work in the computer department. I used to work like what they call like the inventory specialist, something like that. It was pretty much a stalker, but merchandising specialist is what they call this. But we put up advertisements and tags and prices. But it was cool being in the back. We could see like the trucks come in with all the consoles and stuff like that. Like, oh, we got all the new PlayStations, the new Xboxes, or we got the new games. Like, here's a stack of all the latest, I don't know, Ocarina of Time or whatever. It's kind of cool seeing that stuff happen in the back end, and then like see people kind of come in. You open the doors in the morning, people rush in, try to get in line or try to get to whatever product is. Black Friday, especially.
So I was just getting ready to ask you that. Like, so have you been at a Best Buy during Black Friday? Like,
yeah, absolutely, yeah. But they had it well organized though. Like they had like things situated in a certain way, and then like they had like the lines were wrapped a certain way so they weren't like blocking the aisles and all this. But it was, from my memory, it was pretty like tame or pretty like controlled. I'd say nothing like people like karate chopping each other or like fist fighting, trying to get like I want a DVD player. Yeah. I remember like a small takeaway from that experience. Like I remember like some Black Fridays they would put stuff out. They'd be like a DVD player. It's like, oh, it's like a $50 DVD player or something like that. But then it's like I would look at it as like, man, this is a cheap DVD player. Like, there's a reason why it's $50. It's not worth like $200 and they said it's selling for $50. It was actually like a $50 DVD player. But people are coming in there running for it, like, oh, no, a DVD player $50. Oh, hell yeah, let me get this. and then I'm sure they get home and it's like, I mean, it probably does enough, does the job, but it's just like it was so cheap, like it probably, probably couldn't even rewind a DVD or couldn't back, you couldn't like
Couldn't skip.
couldn't skip or anything. The controller has like one button on it, like, oh damn.
Like you playing or stopping, that's it.
Yeah. You got no control. It's like
so my question. Yeah. I'm sorry, Shannon.
No,
I was gonna say my question would be: do you get first dibs? So launch night, console comes out, they're coming off the truck. Do y'all get first dibs?
No, I think they were pretty strict about that too. That people weren't like hiding product in the back and like, oh, let me get one of these.
Okay.
They were good about that. They didn't let you like, like you said, pick a console, like hold a console for later. You'd have to. I
wouldn't work that night. I would be like, hey, I quit.
Yeah. You have to buy like anybody else, but you did get like a discount on everything. I think even the consoles, but it pretty much you for me, like when I was working at Best Buy, they would give you like pretty much at cost. Whatever they paid for it. I think it was at cost plus like, I want to say it was like 5 or 6% or something like that. Just like a little bit above, but it was pretty good. The consoles we didn't even get much because they sell the consoles pretty much what they buy it for. So like they don't really make anything off the consoles, but they it's software, the accessories, accessories and software is definitely where the money is made.
Gotcha.
And even the companies themselves, Sony and Microsoft and Nintendo, they don't really make money from the consoles. They make money from the software it sells and the accessories that come off of it.
Yeah, definitely Sony and Microsoft. I think Nintendo typically turns a profit, except for the Wii U.
Oh, do they?
They weren't. Okay. Yeah, like typically they come out on launch day, they make a small profit because you got to think Nintendo is a little bit smaller in comparison to. For manufacturing side, they're a little bit smaller than the other two. Microsoft can hemorrhage money like they are right now. They said GameStop is not GameStop. Game Pass is not profitable. They're losing money. But he's like, man.
I don't know about that, but yeah,
we got it. We got it.
Yeah.
Sony can't take the hit. So I was reading an interesting article the other day where basically the PS4 saved Sony because Sony is not just obviously the game system and the studios, but it's also televisions, cameras, used to be Walkman, music, banking, Sony banks. I actually have a card. I have a Sony card I never use because I was waiting for this day to use it because you get like 5 times the points. And I still didn't use it because one click wasn't set up for it. So it came around my account like boop. So I was like, well, that was a waste. But I'm glad to have it. So I'm definitely not going to play. I'm not going to play with this order. I'm not going to change payment methods. None of that before they cancel it. Right. But they're saying Nintendo, on the other hand, they usually turn a profit out the gate. That's why they killed the Wii U so quickly because it was one of the only consoles they didn't turn a profit on. So they're like, shut it off immediately.
Right.
But quick anecdote about your Best Buy story. So I tried working for Best Buy when I was in Alaska. The whole time I was there, they would not hire me.
Dang.
I just wanted to work there for the discount. That's all I wanted.
A lot of people.
So I was like, I don't care where you put me. You put me in sales. You can put me in what they call it, like asset management, or not asset management. The people who watch people who steal.
Yeah.
I was like, you put me there. I could potentially get punched in the face. I don't care. I want to get this receiver at cost. So the entire time I was like, put me in Geek Squad. I think I had like a Net Plus certification or something like that. I was like, put me somewhere. They were like, no.
Yeah, right.
Like, and I knew a dude who was in charge of Geek Squad. He couldn't get me in.
Damn. That's
I was like, is it me?
Yeah.
He's like, no, man, just we ain't hiring right now. I was like, yo, I just want to buy some speakers.
Right.
And then I will quit. Just hire me seasonal. Let me get these speakers real quick. And then I'm out.
It must have been you, man, because I've seen some. They hired some characters at my spot. They were like, even I got in it. No.
Maybe he was too sane. Maybe that's what it was.
Like, you're too sane. You're too normal. They need somebody with like a little bit of.
They wouldn't put me on. I was like, dang, I just want these definitive technology speakers is what I wanted. These DefTechs, these huge towers.
Yeah.
They're like $600 a piece. I was like, at cost, man, it ain't gonna be nothing. Maybe half price.
Right.
Nope. Right. When put your boy on. Now look at me now, Best Buy. You'll never be sponsored. No, you could be sponsored if you want to. I'll take your money.
But no, a lot of people did the same thing you did, especially like around the holiday times. People would try to get jobs at Best Buy working just part time, and they get the
Yeah,
discount and they buy a bunch of stuff. You see them like always like, oh, can I get new sound system, new whatever. Like we had appliances, we had refrigerators. We didn't have refrigerators, and I don't know if we had washer and dryers. I know we had refrigerators there, but we had a little bit of everything. Like you said, you get some TVs, you get some video games, you get some music discs, you get a little bit of
yeah,
everything. So people were coming in there like working for the holiday, work for like 3 months or whatever, get their discount, and then buy some things and leave. Like come the next year, the new year. But
yeah. That's gonna be me.
yeah,
I'll quit so fast, but oh, thank you. I
yeah,
finally got my discount because I guess you
right.
have a certain amount of time, right? You can't just
Yeah,
go
I
in
think
there and start
I
buying
think it's
stuff.
like a little bit of a onboarding time or something.
Yep, that was gonna
But
be me.
I remember real quick on the same note, but I remember when the PlayStation, it must have been a PS. Dang, which one was it? Man, was it a PlayStation 2? I'm trying to think because I know I had a PS2, but I stood in line for that. But oh, maybe it was the okay, yeah, maybe because it was a fallen day. But we had a PS2 launch in Best Buy, and prior to the launch, uh, um, we had like a internal like get together with the group to kind of talk about the PlayStation launch and like this is what we're gonna expect. This is how to sell the console. This is all the accessories that we're selling with it, and just kind of like give them an overview and how things going to break down and make sure everybody's like on the same page as far as where the console is going to be and how people are going to buy it and stay in line and all this stuff. And I remember me and my friends joking around because we were in the store, we're learning about PlayStation. They served us pizza, and then we were getting paid. It was like three P's, like PlayStation, pizza, and getting paid. We were like, it's like it can't get any better than this right here.
No,
What
you
you gonna
can't. Can't get any better than that.
do?
Like, you gonna
But
feed
that's
me?
you gonna feed me? They gave us all pizza and all this kind of stuff. I was like, this is pretty cool. I don't mind. I don't mind this. But I think that was like, um, I think that previous night I stood in line for the PS2, and then like the next day, um, when I was like working, and we released it. I think at the store, like in that morning or whatever.
Okay.
I think that's how. Because I'm trying to remember how it went down. Because I'm pretty sure that's a PS2 that came out, but I know I stood in line at Walmart, like I mentioned before, for it as well. But yeah, but that was pretty cool. That's a fun time.
Yeah, those were the days. But now I'm old, so Amazon,
Yeah,
one
Amazon
click
is.
slash 2 day shipping. As long as it's at the crib, I don't care
That's right. Everything
anymore.
gets delivered. I barely go to stores anymore nowadays, which is kind of
Yeah.
sad. But I mean, they need some patronage as well. But I know a lot of stores are going digital, and some stores are closing up shop too. But a lot of stores are like making a digital transformation. Uh,
Like excuse me, the brick and mortar stores were having issues even before COVID, though. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Hmm.
like Amazon was just running up on everybody.
Yeah,
Just hey,
yeah,
you can go ahead and close
yeah.
that down. We got this. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Good luck,
Because
wasn't
small
like
I
business.
COVID put them under. Yeah.
yeah,
Right.
I only went to the brick and mortars to demo what I wanted. You know what I mean? Like if I wanted a new TV, I'd go there and look at the TV. Like, oh yeah, I like that. But
Right.
But I
I'd
know,
have Amazon ship it.
yeah.
Right.
I know for years because like Best Buy used to have the what was it the Magnolia Center or what was that
Yeah.
little
Yeah.
It's
yeah
Magnolia.
It's like
yeah
the sound systems and stuff, right?
yeah but they hadn't been doing that for years. Like I would
Mm.
go to Best Buys and I'd be like they don't have that set up anymore. Like they used to have like the home theater thing and whatnot.
Oh,
Like
so the one in Rundle Mills still had one because when I would go visit friends and family up there, they still had a Magnolia.
oh
Mm.
okay that's crazy. My
But
dad
I,
lives right around the corner from there too from
okay,
yeah.
yeah, but I don't know if the one near me in Florida had one though, because I never went in it because like I moved there. I didn't need a TV at the time, and then no, I did go in it because I got that's where I got the TCL from. So I went there, I saw it, and yeah, there was no Magnolia there. So maybe it was only like bigger stores.
Maybe
Yeah, because
Well,
I remember like
well,
every other one had one at one point. You're right. Like every other Best Buy had a Magnolia.
every store in Arundel Mills is large. Like it's an outlet mall, right? So it's like
Yeah.
yeah, that's huge. But like, yeah, it had been years, and I just stopped seeing them. Like I even remember going in one, and they still had the room there, but it was empty. Like it was like wires where stuff was like plugged up and whatnot were just like sticking out of the walls and whatnot. And I was like, maybe they just don't do it anymore.
Like probably going under. Like maybe the pandemic might have been a boon for them, because I went to Best Buy a couple of times for stuff because they were one of the only box stores still open. You couldn't go inside, but you would order online, then you drive up. I got my sound bar and sub from there, open box and online, which I was impressed because I usually go in the store to get open box, but they're actually selling open box online. So I was able to get the sub and the bar of the Samsung system for half price.
Nice.
I did have to return it a couple of times though. That was frustrating. Because they gave me one, it wouldn't sync. They gave me another one, it was dented. I was like, open box said excellent, but this one is dented. So finally they gave me a brand new one.
Oh damn.
They're like, here, just take it and leave. Don't come back. Thank you.
And you still got it for that half price.
Yeah.
That's good.
Still got it for the same price though.
Even if you want to buy something new, do not come back to us, Mr. Williams.
Yeah, don't come back here.
You want to buy something brand new. We don't want to see you again.
So that was frustrating. But I mean, hey, it worked out finally. Finally, they just gave me a brand new one. Like, here you go.
Yeah,
so that's what's up.
That's how
but before we get off, real quick, I just want to get you guys' reactions on the F-150 Lightning. So I'm not a pickup truck guy. However, I want it. it's like the episode of Boondocks. He was like, I call you Chris Handsome.
I like shit and I want you.
I like shit and I want you. You do this the easy way, or you do this the hard way. Like that thing is nice.
It was very impressive. I listened to I guess he's a political host. Michael Smerconish is his name. I listened to him on the radio, and he has a Tesla, and he was talking about it because he already has an electric vehicle. He was talking about it because the president actually did like a little driving thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a little test drive.
Yeah, he did a little test drive, and he was talking about all the stuff that came with it, and I was like, that's pretty nice. You know what I mean? You have decent mileage. You can like charge stuff from it. You know what I mean? Like other tools and stuff like that. I was like, man.
The whole house. If you get the, I think you have to get the Lariats. Yeah. Or it's not the basic. Like the commercial one won't charge a house. Yeah. But after that, it's like a 9 kilowatt generator.
Wow.
Like if you buy the setup where you charge it from the house, like and your house goes dead for whatever reason, I guess it probably will warn you. You probably get an app message like, hey, do you want me to charge your house? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
They say it's the equivalent of 2 Tesla Powerwalls in your vehicle. Damn. That's impressive. Because one Tesla Powerwall will almost bring up the whole house. I think it doesn't bring up certain like accessories, like your AC won't come up and things of that nature. Like they'll split it off because it just doesn't generate enough power for that.
Right.
But this is the equivalent of 2 Powerwalls. So your whole house for up to 10 hours if the truck's fully charged.
It's impressive.
Oh, sorry, not 10 hours, up to 10 days. Yeah.
10 days?
If perfect conditions. So your truck was fully charged and you're not killing the on power consumption, right? You're only running what you need to run, like your fridge, your AC, a couple lights, but up to 10 days. So it's a 3 to 10 is the range you get on a house. And that's in Florida, after a hurricane, that is crucial. Because I was thinking about getting a generator anyway, like getting one and put it in the back, but that's you got to get your whole house rewired.
Yeah.
You got to get a concrete pad, and a decent generator costs you like 10 grand. But it was already built into my truck. Come on.
Right. Yeah. That's a hell of a deal right there. I think it's, just like you guys were saying, I was really impressed with it by it too. I'm not a truck guy just like you, Ryan. It's like, I never really even considered, I never really considered getting like a flatbed truck like that. But looking at this one and all the features that come with it, I'd really consider it. I'd actually like take a step back to think about it. When it comes out, when it's like all the bugs have been worked out or whatever, I might be like, I might have to like look into investing in one of those. But
right.
I've been watching like the electric vehicles and Tesla and all that kind of stuff. Obviously the market's getting bigger. I think all the big names coming out with their own version of electric vehicle. I'm interested to see what other companies are coming out with as well in the near future. But I think I was definitely more impressed by this one than I was like when initially when Tesla launched showed off like their Cybertruck or whatever it's called.
Cybertruck, yeah.
I'll say the one thing it kind of I kind of warmed up to it a little bit after when I first saw it. I was like, "What the hell is this thing?" But after looking at it for a little bit, I was kind of like, "Okay, it's something different." It's like I can understand why they went that way. Just try to make it like a little bit more unique than you see like the regular trucks out there. Everybody has the same kind of truck. It looks like you can't really tell F-150 from like a a Toyota Tundra or something, whatever, like Toyota's version and all the other like whatever the different variation of trucks that are out there. But I'm interested to see when the F5 comes out and when people get more chance to review it. And like we saw the MKB HD, he did like a little like first impression of it. I thought that was like pretty cool to see some of the gadgets and all the features inside of it. But it's a new thing. I'm definitely like, I'm all about the new electric vehicles. I think that's gonna be the next vehicle I purchase would be a electric vehicle. I don't think I'd buy like another gas one, but only the future will tell how that works out for me. But I don't think I have any plans to buy another gas one as it stands. But Shannon looked like he's like, I don't think I like that.
No, the Tesla truck I do not like, right? But like, it's crazy because I've been looking into EVs as well, right? So like, I know, I mean, it's out of my range, right? But like, Audi is coming out with one.
Yeah.
The 2022 GT they're coming out with e-tron GT. It looks like the Porsche Taycan. Have you ever seen the Porsche that they have?
Yeah.
Like, if you ever seen that, it looks like that. But that thing is sweet, man. I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh man, I look nice. But like, if you want to get the high end one, it's like 140,000. I'm like, nah.
Yeah.
I'm like, that ain't me. That ain't me. 140,000. The range I think is only like 232 miles or something like that, which I wouldn't go far anyway if I had it, right? But like,
right.
But my thing is, man, that thing looks beautiful. You know what I mean? I read a review. The dude called it a luxury rocket. Is what he called it.
I was gonna say, that thing flies. Shoot, that thing's gonna put some wings on that thing.
That's way above my pay grade. Talking about 140,000. But I was interested in the Cybertruck only because I was like, I don't really want a truck anyway, but because it has a bed and all that stuff, but that's not what you bought the Cybertruck for. But I just thought it was all the tech in it justified the ugliness. I was like, you mean like the Aztec was ugly, but people liked it. Whatever, you'll get past that. But then I saw this one, and I'm just like, it looks like a regular F-150.
Yeah,
I was like,
it really does.
I was like, because I'm not trying to show off anyway. You know what I mean? I just want the tech. It doesn't have to look crazy. So I was like, that might be for me. And I saw the price. I was like, I wouldn't get the commercial, obviously not the basic. If I'm putting the money into it, I'm gonna get the next package or above. But not the platinum. You saw the platinum is $90,000.
Oh damn! I didn't see that.
Yeah, that's the most high end one with the crazy trim and the custom wheels and all that stuff. Like now you're too expensive.
Right.
Somewhere in the middle, that XLT or that Lariat, that might be my future. But I'm like you though. Like I'm not gonna be a beta tester for this thing. So I'm not going to get the 22 brand new version. I'll see what the future holds.
Yeah. I'm right there with you on that.
You're sitting here saying 90,000 is out of your range, but hey man, they paying cyber guys whatever they want, right?
Whatever they want.
You just ask whatever you want. Yeah.
That should be the bonus. I'd be like, all right, pay me my 6 figures, but the bonus is you give me the platinum. The platinum F-150.
That's right. Platinum. Dang. Yeah, I didn't know it was that expensive. I saw like the $50,000 price range, but 90.
Yeah, so the 40 is the commercial. Like that's what they're going to start shipping out to companies that need pickup trucks. So I think that's genius. Like, because you're automatically going to get tens of thousands of things off the lot if that's your basic commercial package. And then the XOT one has the bigger battery. And then when you get to the Lariat, it's when you start to get to the nice trim with the crazy 15-inch monitor. And then you get to the platinum, which I guess it's always a variant for F-150. Like you can always get a decked out F-150. I don't know anybody who has one.
Yeah.
At that point, you might just get another vehicle. Like, but maybe you love your F-150s. I don't know.
Yeah. And it's like it's a good point. Like we mentioned before, I didn't really know too much about these kind of trucks, and I don't really do a lot of truck shopping. But apparently, F-150 Lightning has already been a thing. It's already like a version of truck F-150 that they've had. I didn't even really know that. Or I've seen them. I think I've seen them before, but I didn't really like put two and two together.
It's the fastest production truck I think that was out there at the time.
Yeah. I think it's like one of like the more sporty like F-150s. So I thought,
it has some giddy up for sure.
yeah. I thought the lightning was like a new thing with electric. I was like, oh yeah, lightning with electric. Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Right.
But I was like,
It is clever. They're like,
yeah,
yeah, let's put in this one. I'm like,
yeah,
okay, that's forward thinking.
right. But it makes sense. This is like pretty fast. I think this, like you said, Biden was riding in. I think they were telling him that it's like you can go to 0 to 60 in like 4 seconds, something like that, 4 point something seconds. So it's like it's a fast,
way quicker than what I need. Right.
Yeah.
Because that thing is 6,000 pounds. I don't need to be driving a 6,000 pound vehicle going that fast.
Yeah, going that
so
quick.
It's good to have though.
Yeah. If you need to get out of somewhere,
I ain't gonna do it.
Situation.
That's manslaughter.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you something, right? Like you say that, right? Like I have a vehicle now that has a good amount of giddy up, and like I've never been known to have a lead foot, but when you can do it, like you're like, I wonder if I can still do it. There's a way I go to work to where, man, I shouldn't say this, hopefully no law enforcement. I'm not
right
either all the time, but like sometimes like when you get on these roads where it's just one lane each way, like you come across people that are just like, man, you're going 10 miles an hour below the speed limit. Like if I could pass you, I'll pass you. And like I have a vehicle now that I can pass somebody, and when I look down, I'm like, oh no, like, please tell me there's like, no police around here. Like, yeah, I'm it's dangerous, you know what I mean? Like when you can do it, like even if you're not paying attention, because it's a smooth ride. Like I get
right
front and I'm like, oh, I got up there too fast, you know what I mean?
Right.
Bring this down again,
Yeah, well, you'll definitely have it in this vehicle because it doesn't have to breathe. That's so crazy to me. Yeah. Like when he popped open the they call it the frunk. I'm not gonna call it that though, but the front trunk.
The front trunk. Yeah.
The frunk. When he popped open the frunk, I was like, oh yeah, there's no engine. Like I forgot.
Right, you forget about that stuff, right?
Yeah.
No
so like the Audi I was telling you about, like the $140,000 Audi. Well, the high end is $140,000. It's the same thing. It actually it still has the trunk on it, but then it also has the frunk. You know what I mean? On the front.
Okay.
Like,
right.
Man. Like that's
it's so smart. But yeah, I'm going to see how it pans out. But yeah, I'm definitely interested. Like that would be my first pickup.
Right. And the only thing that's like maybe one of the few things that have kind of prevented me from getting a truck in the past is like I'm always like into like more agile vehicles. Like I always feel like, especially in places that I've lived, have been kind of busy, more like city, suburbs / like city living, where like there's a lot of people and like trying to get into like parking lots and find a parking spot and like navigate and try to like, you got this kind of big vehicle, big truck that you're trying to navigate through like a small area. So I've always had like cars, smaller vehicles, but I can appreciate the functionality of having a truck and being able to throw things in the back, and especially trying to move something, move a TV, move some furniture around or something like that, and some stuff you're working on in the house or whatever. That functionality of having that bed in the back is pretty cool. And like you said, it's the latest and greatest electronic tech with all the features. And I don't know. I think it does have like some sort of like self-driving capabilities potentially. I think I saw that.
As you move up the package. Yeah. So I think they call it Blue controls or Blues controls, something like that. But it has cameras facing you to make sure that you're paying attention, so you can't go to sleep. Mm-hmm. So it makes sure that your eyes are open and that you're actually engaged, even though you're not driving. But you have to get a higher package. Like the other one is the assist, where if you're coming up on a car too fast, it'll slow you down. If you don't brake in time, it'll brake for you. If you veer out of your lanes, it'll beep at you. Like I think that comes with not necessarily the commercial, but the next variant. But then as you get deeper in there, then you get the pretty much self-driving, but they can't say that.
Right.
Because obviously people will be like, yeah, it drives itself, and then they'll just run into something.
Right. They're sitting in a
passenger seat. Like all those people that catch sleeping on the Teslas and whatnot.
Right.
Like, driving up next to them, taking pictures. I'm like, be real here, man. Like,
but this one makes sure that you're basically conscious. Like, oh, you're getting sleepy. Start beeping at you. You're on your own. Yeah. Car like, nope.
That's right.
Not on my watch. So yeah, I think it's pretty cool. So I'll be interested. I don't think I won't even be home when they drop, because I was like, I could put, it's like $100 to reserve one, but I won't even be there. So I'll just wait for the next, because if you get it in close to 23 or in 23, they'll have 22s. They got to get off the lot anyway, and you by then you'll know all the bugs. Like, hopefully by then people will discover all the bugs, and it does over the air patching and whatnot. So it's upgradable. So that's good. And the last point, I'm not a Ford rep by any means. I never even owned a Ford in my life. But one of the guys in one of the videos, he brought up a good point. He was like, if your Tesla breaks, there's only so many Tesla centers, and they will recover it for you. Like, they'll send out a wrecker, pick it up, and then take it. But it could be hours away, days away. He said there's a Ford dealership everywhere. Like, if your car breaks down for whatever reason, there's going to be a Ford dealership nearby. So I was like, it is a good point.
That's a good point. And man, kind of along the same lines, I'm kind of interested. I'd be interested to know if they, I don't know what kind of like training they do for like their like repair centers, things like that. Because I think even like with, Teslas, I think they have like, people that are like, outside of the standard like car mechanic type person. They have to know about some of the electronic like functionality and how like the batteries connected and all this kind of stuff. And it's a little bit more intricate than like a regular automobile. Obviously it has like the engine and all that kind of stuff, but
because Tesla ain't doing no oil changes.
They're not really doing that. Not doing the oil changes, things like that. So it's kind of like but like I guess it's a little bit of a give and take, because I'm sure like just like you were saying, that there's things that you don't have to worry about anymore. You don't have to worry about the pistons, you don't have to worry about the oil, you don't have to worry about all this kind of like other stuff. They just kind of focus on the battery and whatever the engine that they actually use to change the transmission or whatever to make the car move.
There's two inboard motors or whatever they call them. So two inboard motors, obviously a ginormous battery, suspension, things of that nature. They said it's like, I don't the one thing I didn't appreciate is the stats, because they don't have them yet, but they're like, well, there's 40% less stuff, so it'd be 40% less appointments. Not necessarily. You need to have trend analysis, right? Like, I need to know what does break on this, because every vehicle has something, so it may not, it doesn't have a motor, so that is less wear and tear in that department. But what if there's a trend where this piece is weak versus this piece, like, we just don't know what we don't know yet. So you can't say 40% less. It could be 60% less or 80% less, or it could be on par, because I don't know, the coupler, I don't know anything about vehicles. I'm not going to
overheating on batteries.
The flux capacitor gets weak after 30,000 miles. We don't know.
You're not reaching your gigawatts.
That's right. Gigawatts.
No, but like, so like, LeVon, you bringing that up though, like that kind of brings up a good point, right? Like, is Ford going to be expanding on all their service departments? You know what I mean? Because they're still going to have gas vehicles out there, right? So they're going to need the bays they need, because the Ford F-150, I want to say, is like the most popular vehicle we have in America. Is it?
I think so. I think that's what he said.
The most popular truck for like 30, 40 years.
Yeah. So like,
I think it's truck and vehicle, like in car, I think.
Oh, like vehicle in general?
Vehicle in general.
Yeah, I think so.
But like, so like, they're not going to get rid of the bays they have. So are they going to have to expand and add onto their bays for servicing electric vehicles? You know what I mean? So
maybe not every dealership I have, maybe every other or something like that. That's a whole nother industry. Like, you could be the EV dude, right? That's something. I mean, they're probably gonna need a lot of those guys and ladies to work on EVs, because that's a whole new industry, right?
Right.
So do you need cybersecurity for their vehicles? That could be Ford's v Sizzo.
Yeah, I was going to throw it out too, that actually the wife and I both have Ford vehicles right now. I have actually have a what do I have? Freaking Ford
Estiva?
No, the upgrade. Damn, what's the Ford Focus ST? I have a Ford Focus ST. And the wife has a Ford Edge. So right now we're kind of in the Ford family. So maybe this will be,
there you go.
Maybe that's like a hint to what the future has in store for us. Maybe more Ford down the line, but we'll see. Ford stopped doing like cars besides the Mustang, which is kind of interesting. But maybe they have like an SUV version of this as well, which I think I'd be more likely to get like an SUV.
Oh, like a truck, Escape.
Escape. Escape or Edge. Yeah.
Look at the new Escape EV.
Yeah. But yeah, that'd be cool. I mean, I think it's good that I'm glad to see these companies coming out with these electric vehicles, and then I know in general, like it's good for the environment. Uh, and I'm not like a tree hugger, but I like seeing things that are, I do believe in like global warming and things like that and stuff. But
I'm with
uh,
you on that. I'm with you on that, but I don't think I would convert both vehicles to electric right at that point. And
mm-mm.
so like
No, just in case.
yeah, exactly, right.
In
So
case
like
in
Yeah,
case the purge happens, I gotta be get out of the
well,
right. Yeah,
house.
the per.
it's not even necessarily the purge. Like I live in Colorado, and we can get some blizzards where power can go out. You know what I mean? So like
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
gotcha.
if it ends up being I get a lot of snow, because like even like if I was to do it, I would probably do solar panels as well, right? So like I've seen a couple videos on like Tesla does roofs. Have you seen this? The solar
Yeah.
panels and solar roofs. Like Tesla will do it, and they'll give
Mhm.
you the charger and whatnot. But like um I would probably go that route and just do a big upgrade all on the solar panels, and then have the charger and do all that stuff. But I don't know if I could do both of them at the same time, because if we get a blizzard or something like that, more than likely we're going to get snow. It's going to be covering up the panels. I'm not going to be getting the sunlight. You know what I mean? So
Right.
I have to be like, all right, let me keep one gas vehicle and then one electric. But like, yeah, it would probably be a few years for me before I go down that road, right? So, I mean, Tesla's kind of, I'm not gonna say they've cornered the market on it, but they're the most popular in the EV market. But like, the Teslas don't all look good to me either. You know what I mean? So,
Mhm.
like, they can get pretty expensive, and they don't all look attractive to me. I'm kind of a looks guy, right? I'm like Wesley and White Men Can't Jump. I'm like, I gotta look good while I'm doing it. You
That's
know?
right. It's hard work looking this pretty.
Yeah. So like, but yeah, so like I will probably venture out there in the next few years, you know what I mean, and be like, okay, let me get probably at least one electric vehicle. And then if it gets to a point where, technology being what it is, it may get to the point where, because I'm with you, LeVon, like I'm not a tree hugger or anything like that, but I've read the science, I see the data, I see the numbers. I'm like, hey, climate change is real. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? That stuff it's happening. And gasoline is finite, right? Like there's only so much,
yeah,
you know what I mean? And if we're growing at an exponential rate, you know what I mean? And I'm not trying to say, the world is ending or anything like that. The end is not nigh.
right,
I'm not saying that.
right.
But
Yeah, it's like eventual, like
yeah,
however many years it takes, eventually they're going to run out of like gas. So it's going to become like so expensive that people aren't going to be able to afford it
right.
because there's only like a finite amount. Like we only
Exactly.
have like 1,000 drums left, 1,000 barrels left. It's $1 million per barrel.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just about efficiency too, right? Like
Yeah,
we don't use old school brick phones anymore. Like we've evolved to smaller, tech and whatnot. But I agree with you. Probably not both vehicles. Because I was like, I wonder why they don't have a hybrid version where what I mean it's mostly EV, but then it has a tank just in case things get rough. Um, but yeah, I think everything's going to eventually lean this way. They just have to figure out a more elegant solution for our power grids because those are aging and not as secure. Like they shut down a pipeline, but they can also shut down a water treatment plant. They can also shut down electric grid. Like they're all vulnerable. So,
yeah, that's a good point.
and in Florida, I don't believe you can just power your own house. You still have to be attached to the grid. So if I think the way it works, if I'm not mistaken, is if the power goes out and you don't have a backup generator of your own, you can't just feed off your solar panels because you're still attached to the grid. And by law, you have to be attached to the grid or you get like some kind of crazy fine. But they're saying that if you were to charge your house and it were to bleed into the grid, someone working on the grid could potentially be like electrocuted. They call it backfeeding or whatever. I don't really know.
Hmm.
I think it's more
Dang.
of lobbying by the electric companies, so that way you can't be independent. But there might be something there as well. But I know I'm pretty certain you at no point can you be self sufficient off of panels here in Florida. You have to be on the grid.
So like you can still be attached to the grid and still have batteries though, right? Like you won't have the batteries that store the solar.
You
You can't do
you yeah, but there's some weird rule like you cannot like you're not self sufficient because you may put the grid in danger. But like okay, well I just don't want to be attached to the grid then. They'd be like nah. By law you got to be attached to the grid.
Right.
You're like well wait a minute.
No, hold up, man. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's that catch 22 as well, depending on your state.
Okay. Yeah, I know if you do the battery, like the battery backups will almost double the cost anyway, right? Because like that's the purpose of them, is that for whatever reason, if you do lose power, you've been storing it in these batteries that you have, depending on the size
Right.
or how many you get. But you're still attached to the grid. You're right. You're still attached to the grid, and you're kind of because like you're giving them extra that you're not using anyway, right? Which is how you
Yeah.
get down to the zero sum. Especially with you being in Florida, like it's a sunny state, right? Even believe it or not, here in Colorado, we get like 300 days of sunlight a year too, right? Like we get a lot of sun, even though we're a rocky mountain state. But like,
yeah, I was gonna say, because you guys are above the clouds in some places.
yeah,
Like how it's cold. How did I get a sunburn?
yeah,
Doesn't make sense.
UV rays ain't no joke. But
yeah.
no, that's interesting though. I don't know. It's something like I said, I've just dabbled in it, just looking at it. You know, like I watch a couple videos. There's this guy out in Utah. I can't remember his name, but like him and his son have a YouTube channel. They have the channel where they just tear stuff open to see what's inside. But like he had a video where he installed the Tesla solar panels. But this guy, I don't know what he did. I don't know what he did before he started doing these videos. But he had like 2 Tesla Roadsters. His house that he built it looked like a compound. I'm like, oh man,
yeah.
Like,
he's so rich that he's bored now.
Right, you know what I mean. So like, that's doing his videos with his son, which they're making money on them, right? Because they got millions of views. But it's like, I think it's called "What's Inside." So like, they'll cut open a baseball to see what's inside that. Cut open, all these different things and whatnot. So, yeah. But yeah, I don't have money like that. My house doesn't look like a compound.
That's right.
I have 2 Tesla Roadsters. You know what I mean?
That's crazy.
That's
that's bananas.
But yeah, I definitely want to get you guys' opinion on that, because I think I'm in love. I think that's my next vehicle.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely check it out when it comes out. Might do a test drive or something somewhere. See what it's all about.
Yeah, that's what's up though. But thank you, LeVon. Thank you, Shannon. Thank you to all those who listen to this extra long episode of The Rundown. Please give us your feedback. Please tune into the other episodes. Like, share, subscribe, hit that bell, all that good stuff. Excuse me. Just continue to tune in to us, listen to our podcast and what have you. You can hit us up at the website, www.theothersideofthefirewall.com, as well as personally, you can hit me up on LinkedIn, Twitter, Clubhouse, and IG at RY Security Guy. That's RY Security Guy. And LeVon?
Hit me up on the Twitters at LeVon Maynard.
There it is. All right, y'all. Stay safe, stay secure.
Take care.